Imagine a family SUV that combines the familiar convenience of a petrol engine, the efficiency of hybrid technology, and the futuristic driving experience of fully electric powertrain, all under one distinctive Fiat design. That is the idea behind the 2027 Fiat Grizzly, a vehicle that could become one of the most interesting additions to Fiat's SUV lineup for the new generation of family drivers. The automotive industry is changing rapidly, and customers are no longer looking for vehicles that simply provide transportation. They want comfort, technology, efficiency, safety, practicality, attractive styling, and the freedom to choose a powertrain that fits their lifestyle. The Fiat Grizzly could be designed around exactly that philosophy. The 2027 Fiat Grizzly is expected to have a strong family-oriented character while still offering the rugged appearance that modern SUV buyers want. The exterior could combine a tall and practical body with a modern aerodynamic shape, giving the vehicle a substantial road presence without making it unnecessarily large. Fiat could use its latest design language to create an SUV that looks recognizable as a Fiat while introducing a new identity for the Grizzly name. At the front, the Grizzly could feature a wide and sculpted nose with slim LED headlights positioned toward the edges of the body. A distinctive LED daytime running light signature could give the SUV a recognizable appearance both during the day and at night. The front bumper could be designed with a combination of aerodynamic surfaces and protective elements, giving the vehicle a tougher appearance while still maintaining good efficiency. The grille treatment could vary depending on the powertrain. A petrol version could feature a more traditional grille design to provide airflow to the engine, while the electric model could use a more closed-off front section to improve aerodynamics. The hybrid could sit somewhere between the two, combining conventional cooling requirements with aerodynamic design. The front lighting could become one of the most attractive elements of the Grizzly. Modern LED technology could provide a sharp appearance while improving nighttime visibility. Higher trims could potentially feature adaptive lighting technology that automatically adjusts the beam according to traffic and road conditions. This would be particularly useful on highways and rural roads where visibility can change quickly. The hood could have subtle sculpted lines that give the SUV a stronger appearance without making the design too aggressive. The side profile could feature a relatively long wheelbase, allowing Fiat to maximize passenger space inside the cabin. Large doors could make entry and exit easier for children, older passengers, and anyone carrying luggage. The roof line could remain relatively high toward the rear to preserve interior headroom, instead of creating an extremely sloping roof that sacrifices practicality for appearance. Fiat could focus on providing a useful combination of style and space. Roof rails could also be available, allowing owners to carry additional equipment such as bicycles, luggage boxes, or outdoor gear. The side windows could be large enough to provide good visibility for passengers. This would be especially important for families traveling with children, because a spacious and bright cabin can make long journeys much more comfortable. Privacy glass could potentially be available for the rear windows on higher trims. The wheel arches could give the Grizzly a more rugged appearance. Depending on the version, Fiat could offer different wheel sizes and designs. Smaller wheels with higher profile tires could prioritize comfort and efficiency, while larger alloy wheels could provide a more premium and sporty appearance. The suspension would also be important because a family SUV needs to work across many different road conditions. The Grizzly could be tuned to provide a comfortable ride over potholes, speed bumps, rough pavement, and uneven roads. At the same time, Fiat could give the vehicle enough body control to remain stable during highway driving and cornering. Ground clearance could be higher than a typical hatchback or sedan, allowing the Grizzly to deal with rough roads, gravel tracks, and other light off-road conditions. However, this would still primarily be a family crossover rather than a dedicated extreme off-road vehicle. At the rear, the Grizzly could continue the modern design theme with slim LED taillights and a sculpted tailgate. The rear bumper could incorporate protective-looking elements while maintaining a clean appearance. A roof spoiler could add a sportier touch and potentially help improve airflow around the rear of the vehicle. The trunk could be one of the most important areas for family buyers. A large cargo opening would make it easier to load groceries, suitcases, baby equipment, sports gear, and other items. The rear seats could fold down to create additional cargo space when needed. A hands-free power tailgate could potentially be offered on higher versions. Imagine arriving at the vehicle with your hands full of shopping bags and simply moving your foot under the rear bumper to open the trunk. Small conveniences like this can make a major difference in everyday family life. Inside the 2027 Fiat Grizzly, the focus could shift toward comfort, flexibility, and digital technology. Fiat could create a dashboard with a modern horizontal design, incorporating a digital driver display and a large central infotainment screen. The layout could be designed to make the cabin feel open and uncluttered. The digital instrument cluster could provide drivers with information such as speed, fuel consumption, engine status, battery charge, estimated range, navigation directions, driving modes, and safety alerts. Hybrid and electric models could provide additional graphics showing how energy is moving between the battery, electric motor, and wheels. The central infotainment display could become the main control center for the vehicle. Drivers and passengers could use it for navigation, music, phone calls, vehicle settings, charging information, and other connected services. Smartphone integration could allow users to access familiar applications through the screen. Wireless smartphone connectivity could reduce the number of cables needed inside the cabin. Multiple USB charging ports could also be provided for front and rear passengers, making it easier for everyone to keep their devices charged during long trips. The infotainment system could also include voice control. Drivers could potentially say commands to change the climate temperature, select navigation destinations, make phone calls, or choose music without taking their hands off the steering wheel. A larger premium audio system could be available in higher trim levels. For families, entertainment could become particularly important during long journeys, so a high-quality sound system could make road trips more enjoyable. The front seats could be designed to provide good support for long-distance driving. Depending on the trim, electric adjustment, heating, ventilation, and upgraded upholstery could potentially be available. The driver's seat could also include memory settings, allowing different drivers to quickly return to their preferred position. The steering wheel could feature multi-function controls for audio, cruise control, phone functions, and driver information. Paddle controls could potentially be included on certain versions, particularly if Fiat uses them for regenerative braking adjustment on hybrid or electric models. The second row would be critical for the family-oriented nature of the Grizzly. There could be enough legroom for adult passengers while maintaining useful cargo capacity behind the seats. The rear bench could potentially slide or recline, giving families additional flexibility between passenger comfort and luggage space. Rear passengers could have dedicated air vents, cup holders, storage pockets, and USB charging ports. Higher trims could potentially offer heated rear seats and additional climate controls. Families with young children would also benefit from easily accessible child seat mounting points. Wide rear doors could make it easier for parents to install child seats without struggling in tight parking spaces. The cabin could also include numerous storage compartments. Modern family vehicles need places for phones, bottles, sunglasses, wallets, toys, chargers, and other everyday objects. Fiat could integrate storage into the doors, center console, dashboard, and rear seating area. Material quality could vary depending on trim. Entry-level models might use durable cloth and hard-wearing surfaces designed for everyday use, while premium versions could feature synthetic leather, soft-touch materials, contrast stitching, and more sophisticated trim. The cabin could be offered in different color combinations as well, allowing buyers to choose between a darker, sporty interior and a lighter, more premium environment. One of the most interesting parts of the 2027 Fiat Grizzly could be its powertrain strategy. Rather than producing only one type of vehicle, Fiat could potentially offer petrol, hybrid, and electric versions. This approach would allow the SUV to appeal to customers at different stages of the transition toward electrification. The petrol version could remain the simplest option for many drivers. A modern turbocharged petrol engine could provide enough power for normal family use, highway driving, and occasional trips with a full load of passengers and luggage. An automatic transmission could make the Petrol Grizzly easy to drive in urban traffic. Fuel-saving technologies such as start-stop systems and optimized engine management could help reduce consumption when compared with older generation engines. For customers who regularly travel long distances, the petrol version could offer the advantage of quick refueling. A driver could stop at a fuel station for a few minutes and continue the journey without needing to plan charging stops. The hybrid model could provide an attractive compromise. A petrol engine would work together with an electric motor and battery system. During low-speed urban driving, the electric motor could assist a vehicle or potentially move it under electric power for short periods, depending on the final hybrid architecture. When the driver accelerates harder or travels at higher speeds, the petrol engine could provide additional power. During braking and deceleration, regenerative braking could recover energy and send it back into the battery. This could help improve efficiency in city traffic, where conventional petrol vehicles often consume more fuel because of frequent stops and starts. The hybrid Grizzly could also be quieter during low-speed operation, making the cabin more relaxing in traffic. The transition between electric assistance and petrol power could be engineered to feel smooth and natural. For buyers who want the most futuristic version, the electric Grizzly could be the most exciting option. A fully electric drivetrain could deliver instant torque and smooth acceleration without the vibration associated with a conventional petrol engine. The battery pack could be located beneath the cabin floor. This would help create a low center of gravity and could also contribute to a spacious interior layout. The exact battery capacity and driving range would depend on the final production configuration, but the goal would likely be to make the vehicle practical for both everyday commuting and longer journeys. Charging could be handled through a combination of home and public charging. Owners with access to a home charger could plug the vehicle in overnight and wake up with a high state of charge the next morning. Fast charging could become especially useful on road trips. During a longer journey, drivers could stop at a compatible fast charger, take a break, have some food or coffee, and continue with additional range. The electric version could also include regenerative braking levels that the driver can adjust. Stronger regeneration could allow more energy to be recovered during deceleration, while reducing the need to use the conventional brake pedal. An intelligent energy management system could help maximize range by considering traffic, road conditions, temperature, and driving style. Navigation could potentially recommend charging stops automatically when the battery level becomes low. A smartphone application could provide additional EV functions. Owners could check the battery level remotely, start or stop charging, schedule charging times, precondition the cabin, and locate charging stations. Preconditioning could be particularly useful in extreme weather. The driver could cool or heat the cabin while the vehicle is still connected to a charger, meaning energy comes from the electrical supply rather than using battery power during the journey. The electric Grizzly could also benefit from the quiet nature of electric driving. Without a traditional engine operating at the front, the cabin could become significantly quieter, particularly at lower speeds. That quietness could make the SUV feel more premium, especially on family road trips. Safety would be another major part of the Grizzly's appeal. Modern family SUVs are expected to provide a wide range of driver assistance systems, and the 2027 Grizzly could potentially feature technologies designed to help prevent accidents and reduce driver workload. Forward collision warning could monitor the road ahead and alert the driver if a potential collision is detected. Automatic emergency braking could assist if the driver fails to react quickly enough. Lane departure warning could alert the driver if the vehicle begins moving out of his lane unintentionally. Lane keeping assistance could provide steering support to help keep the SUV centered. Adaptive cruise control could automatically maintain a selected speed while adjusting the distance from the vehicle ahead. This could make highway driving less tiring, especially during long family trips. Blind spot monitoring could help detect vehicles approaching from areas that are difficult for the driver to see. Rear cross-traffic alert could provide additional assistance when reversing out of parking spaces. Parking could become easier through a combination of cameras and sensors. A 360-degree camera system could provide a view around the entire vehicle, making it easier to position the SUV in tight spaces. Automatic parking assistance could potentially control the steering during selected parking maneuvers, while the driver remains responsible for monitoring the surroundings. The Grizzly could also use traffic sign recognition and intelligent speed information to help drivers stay aware of changing road conditions. A modern SUV should also provide strong connectivity. The Grizzly could potentially communicate with a smartphone, allowing the owner to check vehicle status, locate the vehicle, and receive maintenance notifications. For the EV version, connected services could become even more useful because charging status and range information are essential parts of ownership. The vehicle could potentially support over-the-air software updates, allowing Fiat to improve selected digital functions without requiring every update to be performed at a dealership. Another important consideration is family convenience. The Grizzly could feature keyless entry and push-button starting, making daily use easier. Depending on trim, a digital key could potentially allow a compatible smartphone to function as the vehicle key. The climate control system could be designed for quick heating and cooling, with separate controls for different areas of the cabin. Rear passengers could receive dedicated vents to help maintain a comfortable temperature throughout the vehicle. For families traveling with lots of luggage, roof rails could increase carrying capacity. A roof box could provide additional space for vacations, while a bicycle carrier could make the SUV useful for outdoor activities. The towing capability, if offered, would depend heavily on the selected powertrain and market configuration. A suitable towing package could potentially make the Grizzly useful for small trailers and recreational equipment. The vehicle's versatility could be one of its biggest strengths. During the week, it could function as a school run and commuting vehicle. On weekends, it could become a road trip machine. During vacations, the large cabin and cargo area could accommodate luggage for the whole family. The design could also make the Grizzly appealing to younger buyers who want something more distinctive than a conventional family crossover. Fiat could use unique exterior details, modern lighting, interesting wheel designs, and expressive colors to give the SUV a strong personality. The electric version could receive special aerodynamic details to improve efficiency. Smooth wheels, a closed front design, aerodynamic underbody components, and carefully shaped mirrors could all contribute to reducing air resistance. The hybrid could also use aerodynamic improvements to reduce fuel consumption. Even small improvements can make a noticeable difference over thousands of kilometers of driving. The petrol version could focus more on cooling and engine airflow while still using modern aerodynamic principles. Another potential advantage could be driving modes. The Grizzly could offer different modes for normal driving, eco-focus operation, and possibly sportier response. Hybrid and EV versions could have additional energy-saving modes designed to maximize range. An eco mode could soften throttle response and optimize climate control operation. A normal mode could provide a balanced setup for everyday use. A sport mode, if offered, could sharpen accelerator response and steering feel. For rougher roads, a dedicated traction or terrain mode could potentially improve control on gravel, mud, or slippery surfaces. However, buyers should remember that a family crossover is not the same thing as a dedicated off-road vehicle. The suspension system could also vary between trims. More premium versions could potentially use adaptive dampers that automatically adjust according to road conditions and driving style. The steering would likely be light enough for easy city maneuvering, but stable enough for highway driving. This balance is important because family SUV owners often drive in very different environments. Visibility could be improved through large mirrors, wide windows, and modern camera systems. The higher seating position would also give the driver a better view over surrounding traffic, compared with a traditional sedan. The Grizzly could also be designed with strong attention to aerodynamics and wind noise. A quiet cabin would improve comfort on highways, particularly when the electric version is already naturally quiet. For passengers, the rear seats could provide enough room for adults on longer journeys. USB ports and storage compartments could help keep passengers connected and organized. Parents could also benefit from the possibility of a spacious center area for bags and personal items. The cargo floor could potentially have adjustable sections, allowing owners to create additional hidden storage areas. The trunk itself could be designed with practical hooks and tie-down points to prevent shopping bags from moving around while driving. A 12-volt outlet could potentially allow owners to power selected accessories. The overall design philosophy could therefore be simple: make the vehicle attractive, but make every part useful. When it comes to ownership, reliability, and running costs would also influence the Grizzly's success. Petrol models would require traditional maintenance, such as oil and filter changes, while hybrid vehicles would combine conventional maintenance with electric components. The EV could have fewer mechanical components requiring routine service. There would still be tires, brakes, suspension components, cabin filters, and other systems to maintain, but the electric drivetrain itself could require less traditional engine maintenance. Tire choice could also have a major effect on efficiency and comfort. Low rolling resistance tires could help maximize EV and hybrid efficiency, while more rugged tires could provide additional grip and durability. The electric version could potentially use specially designed tires to handle the additional weight of the battery pack, while maintaining low rolling resistance. The braking system could combine regenerative braking with conventional friction brakes. This could reduce wear on traditional brake components under certain driving conditions. For petrol and hybrid versions, fuel economy would depend heavily on engine size, transmission, vehicle weight, driving conditions, and final specifications. For the EV, real-world range would depend on battery size, temperature, speed, terrain, tire selection, and driving style. This is important because official range figures and real-world range can differ. Highway driving at high speed generally consumes more energy, while city driving with frequent regenerative braking can be more efficient for electric and hybrid vehicles. For families, the most important factor may ultimately be total practicality rather than headline performance. A family SUV does not need to be the fastest vehicle in its class. It needs to be comfortable, predictable, easy to park, spacious enough for passengers, efficient enough for everyday use, and affordable enough to make sense. That could be exactly where the Fiat Grizzly finds its opportunity. Fiat could position the Grizzly as an SUV for people who want modern technology without unnecessary complexity. The vehicle could provide the benefits of a larger SUV while retaining Fiat's approachable character. The petrol, hybrid, and EV options would allow customers to choose based on their personal situation. Someone living in an area with limited charging infrastructure could choose petrol. Someone who wants improved efficiency but travels long distances could select the hybrid. And someone with home charging and a desire for electric driving could choose the EV. Security technology could include alarm systems, immobilization features, remote vehicle monitoring, and location services. The 2027 Fiat Grizzly could therefore represent more than just a new SUV body style. It could be part of a larger shift in how family vehicles are designed and used. The biggest challenge will be competition. The family SUV segment is already packed with strong competitors from European, Japanese, Korean, American, and Chinese manufacturers. Customers have more choices than ever before. For the Grizzly to succeed, Fiat would need to provide something memorable. Attractive design alone would not be enough. The vehicle would need competitive pricing, strong equipment, useful technology, good interior space, efficient engines, and dependable ownership. The hybrid version could potentially become one of the most important models because it could appeal to a very broad group of buyers. It would offer many of the efficiency benefits associated with electrification while maintaining convenience of a petrol engine. The EV could be Fiat's statement about the future, showing that the company can create a practical electric SUV designed for normal families rather than only technology-focused early adopters. The petrol model could provide an accessible entry point for markets where electrification is still developing. This three-powertrain approach could make the Grizzly more adaptable than a vehicle that relies entirely on one technology. Of course, final specifications, pricing, equipment, range, engine choices, dimensions, and availability would depend on Fiat's official production plans and the specific market. Buyers should always check confirmed information before making purchasing decisions. But if Fiat delivers the concept effectively, the 2027 Grizzly could become a vehicle worth watching closely. It could offer a combination of rugged SUV styling, family-friendly space, modern connectivity, advanced safety technology, and 3 different approaches to propulsion. And perhaps the most important thing is that it could make the transition between old and new automotive technology easier for ordinary families. Not everyone wants the same car. Some drivers want the simplicity and flexibility of petrol. Others want the efficiency of hybrid technology. And an increasing number of drivers are ready to move to fully electric vehicles. A single-family SUV offering these choices could therefore appeal to a much wider audience. The 2027 Fiat Grizzly could be designed for the everyday moments that actually matter, dropping children at school, commuting to work, shopping at the weekend, traveling to visit family, taking road trips, carrying sports equipment, going on vacation, and dealing with everything else that comes with family life. It could be the SUV that is not just about looking impressive in a showroom, but about making everyday transportation easier. If Fiat combines practicality with personality, the Grizzly could have a real chance to stand out. The future of the family SUV is clearly moving toward electrification, connectivity, efficiency, and advanced driver assistance. But customers still want comfort, affordability, reliability, and freedom. The Grizzly could attempt to bring all of these requirements together in one package. Whether the petrol version becomes the budget-friendly choice, the hybrid becomes the efficiency champion, or the EV becomes a technological flagship, each version could serve a different type of driver. The electric Grizzly could provide instant torque, quiet driving, low-emission operation, and home charging convenience. The hybrid could provide a balance between electric assistance and long-distance flexibility. The petrol version could deliver familiar technology and quick refueling. That makes the potential 2027 Fiat Grizzly particularly interesting. It would not simply be competing on engine power or acceleration. It would be competing on how easily it fits into people's lives. And that could ultimately determine whether it becomes a successful family SUV. As the automotive industry moves deeper into the 2027 era, vehicles like the Fiat Grizzly demonstrate how quickly customer expectations are changing. The next generation of family vehicles is expected to be smarter, safer, more connected, more efficient, and more adaptable than ever before. The Grizzly could potentially bring these ideas together while maintaining Fiat's distinctive personality. For buyers who want a practical SUV with a little more character, that could be a very attractive proposition. So, if you were choosing your 2027 Fiat Grizzly today, which one would you choose? Would you go for the traditional petrol version because of its familiar driving experience and easy refueling? Would you choose a hybrid because it offers a balance between efficiency and long-distance flexibility? Or would you go all the way into the future with the fully electric Grizzly EV? Whatever your choice, the idea of giving families multiple powertrain options in one SUV is certainly exciting. The 2027 Fiat Grizzly could potentially become a vehicle that brings together the best parts of Fiat's practical heritage and the technology of the next generation. From its bold exterior to its spacious cabin, connected infotainment, advanced safety systems, flexible cargo area, and multiple powertrain possibilities, there's a lot to watch. The final production vehicle will be the real test. Fiat will need to turn the promise of a modern family SUV into something that is affordable, reliable, comfortable, efficient, and enjoyable to drive. If the company succeeds, the Grizzly could become one of the most interesting Fiat models of the 2027 era. And as the SUV market continues to evolve, one thing is becoming clear. The future family vehicle will not be defined by one engine, one technology, or one type of customer. It will be defined by flexibility. That is where the Fiat Grizzly could have its biggest advantage. A petrol engine for traditional drivers. Hybrid technology for those looking for greater efficiency. Full electric power for customers ready to embrace the future. One family SUV, 3 different paths forward. The 2027 Fiat Grizzly could therefore represent a new chapter for Fiat, bringing practical family transportation into an increasingly electrified world, while keeping the distinctive character that makes Fiat vehicles different. And if the final version delivers on the promise of bold styling, comfortable seating, useful technology, strong safety equipment, flexible cargo space, and competitive running costs, it could be a serious contender in the next generation of family SUVs. So stay tuned, because the future of family SUVs is changing quickly, and the 2027 Fiat Grizzly could be one of the vehicles helping to shape that future. If you enjoyed this detailed look at the possible 2027 Fiat Grizzly, make sure you support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on notifications. We will continue bringing you the latest information, concepts, future cars, electric vehicles, hybrids, SUVs, and automotive technology from around the world. And don't forget to tell us in the comments, petrol, hybrid, or EV, which Fiat Grizzly would you choose for your family? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.